Gotcha. You there, Chris?
Yep.
Okay.
Fuck. Yeah.
What is up, friends and foes? This is, I guess, gonna be episode 2. Might be a little bit shorter. I hate that it gives me the script notification on Xbox One. I'm just like, I'm on my computer. Xbox One. I know what I'm doing with my life. And yeah, I mean, just really to give you guys kind of a little update of what's been going on with
Everything is good. Like, and then my friends call me up and they're like, Chris, we're drinking tonight. You should totally come over. Drink with us and have a good time. And I was like, of course. I'm gonna go play Cards Against Humanity, play some video games, and just drink with my friends. Like, who wouldn't want that? And so, like, so the whole story, like, the whole thing about being like, with my ex was, the whole thing was like, I wanted her to hang out with me on Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Like, I was like, you should come and hang out with me and my family, and then I'll come hang out with you and yours, and or the way around. It doesn't matter, as long as we're like kind of together. Yeah. It's a holiday. Like, you want to spend the holiday with the people you love. And she was like, she kind of bummed me out because she was like, well, I'm gonna go spend it with my baby's daddy, her ex, and I'm gonna go spend a few hours with them, and then I'm gonna see my grandpa, who isn't doing so well, and she's like, I'm gonna go see my grandpa who's not doing so well, and so
So from there,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
So from there, it's like, I was like, okay, that's a good excuse. I'm not gonna get mad at you. You go do that, and then we'll just hang out on Friday. And then so, like, Thursday night, I get a text message, from my ex, pretty much saying that she's stuck in Waco and that we have to break up, and she's back with her ex. Her parents are kicking her out. Like, it was this huge mess. And at first I thought, like, maybe it wasn't her who had her phone, because the way she was texting me wasn't the way she would normally text me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it had, those text messages were like proper grammar, which is something she's, she never has. I'm not trying to be mean to her, but, like,
yeah, it's something like you.
Honestly,
it's more you grown accustomed to the way this person is, more so than you expect.
Yeah.
This weird thing. Like with me, it's like with my ex was the fact that she had like this little, like, I don't know, it's just like a little cute voice that she'd use with me. And since we've been like friends hanging out, she doesn't do that anymore, which it sucks. You know what I mean? But I know what you mean, where it's like it's something you've grown accustomed to, where it's there's this person that acts this way around you, and for some reason, like, it just changed, and you know what I mean? You see it, or you can just tell.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the thing, is so I was kind of not sure how to take it. Like, I was just kind of like, okay, well, like, I'm asking her questions like, okay, well, what happened? I'm trying to get more out of her, and she's not really talking to me. And so, after a while, she just completely stops texting me altogether. And, I messaged her mom over Facebook, and I'm like, hey, is Sam with you? Like, what's going on? And, she's like, no, she went back to Waco. She ran back to Waco, and she said that she didn't want to come back. And I was kind of like,
Like,
but okay, like I'm not understanding. And so that morning, right, she texted, my ex texted me back, and she was like, pretty much, she was like, my dad disowned me, for coming back to Waco, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I'm back with my ex, and, I don't want to make you a part of all this or whatever. And so she was like, I'm breaking up with you, goodbye. And I was kind of like, honestly, I can read you the text messages. Like, I was, like, really, like, straight up honest with her. And I was like, hold on, because I'll read the text messages in a second. But I was straight up honest with her. And I was like, I'm disappointed in you. You know what I mean? Like, I trusted you, and you, like, ran off. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, I mean, it's like,
that, to me, it was upset.
You, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, as a person, you did. It's like, to be in a relationship, obviously, there's a form of commitment with that, but it's like the person that you are, you kind of gave it your all with it. You didn't sit there and kind of fuck around or do anything with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's my thing, is like, all I wanted was, honestly, for, like, her to be honest with me and, like, give me that like, if that's what she wanted, then fine.
Yeah.
But she could have been honest about it. You know what I mean? She didn't have to
go and make up this fucking story. I know what you mean.
Well, she didn't even. Well, that's the thing, is like, you remember how she said her grandpa wasn't doing good?
Yeah.
And that her parents were the ones that kicked her out, and that's why she was staying in Waco. Well, that actually wasn't the case, because her mom also reached out to me that next morning and was like, hey, no, that's, she was like, hey, I want to talk to you, and I have all your stuff, because I had some stuff over there.
Yeah.
She was like, I have all your stuff, and so if you want to come get it, you're more welcome to. And I was like, okay, I'll stop around, like noon today. Like, I'm going to come get my stuff today.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. So I went and talked to her. I went and talked to her mom. And her mom gave me a completely different story. And, and her mom was telling me that she tried the same trick she did last time to run off. She pretended that, or she had somebody come pick her up, and then straight up say that she didn't have a ride back because, you know. And the thing is like, she could have, if that was the case, she could have called me, bro. I would have had no problem driving like an hour and a half to go get her, like, no problem.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like,
and her, her mom even agreed. Her mom was like, we would have picked her up, but the thing is that that's not how that went down. Instead, it went down as she was sending me text messages stating, well, I'm happy here, don't be mad at me, I want to stay here and shit. And this is with a dude that, like, lays his hands on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that's, man, it upset me. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not like some magical perfect fucking dude, but, I work my ass off and I care for her. And I was kind of like, in my text messages, I kind of mentioned that. Like, hold on.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now.
Fucking Javi is woohooed.
Gotta love Javi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, okay, and I mean, like I said, and if I honestly know exactly, because it's just like, if, like, it's you, dude. Like, you don't care if I'm like, hey, I'm stranded, X amount of hours, can you come get me? And it's like, oh, like, yeah, of course, like, there wouldn't be a reason for you not to do it, because it's A, you have a connection with this person, and B, you, like, this person's your friend. You know what I mean? Like, and for someone to go, oh, no, I'm helpless, and then to do what she's doing, telling her mom this whole different story, it's like, I mean, I understand. It's just really fucked up, though.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. Like, okay, so I'm gonna just give you, like, the basic messages of when she messaged me back this morning, or that morning. Yeah. And she was like, I'm in Waco, stuck here. I've been disowned by my own dad. He's pissed at me. My family is pissed off and hates me right now. I'm being threatened to have CPS called on me by my own father. I'm living here with Steve again, and I'm with him, and it's not right to take you down this road, so I'm leaving. I know Shauna and everyone is pissed at me, and everyone in Colleen is pissed at me. I'm sorry for all this, honestly. And now, once again, right, this is perfect grammar. This is something she never has. And so here was my response to that, because that morning I was pretty upset. I was like, I'm disappointed, Sam. I love you. I trusted you. And you're back with a man who definitely doesn't deserve you, and that's your choice. And I won't lie, it's a disappointing one. I'm just hurt and confused, but in the end, I wish you and your son the best, especially your son. Your choice. You burned me. I'm the sorry one, Sam. Best of luck.
Yeah.
That was me pretty much, just being me. And she was like, I hope, this pissed me off. Like, honestly, this shit right here pissed me off. She was like, I hope in time I can be forgiven, but for now I accept no pity or forgiveness. And I was like, really? Like, that's a shitty thing to say, And I was like, I've already forgiven you, Sam. I'm not the one who gave a hard-working, honest, and caring man up for Steve, and I'm not the one who has to live with that down the road. So I'm going to be an adult about this and move on, because I deserve better than that, Sam. And I don't pity you at all, because that shit was your choice. And she never messaged me back.
Alright.
So, like, my thing is like, I went and saw her mom, and her mom was giving me my stuff, and she was hugging me, and she was like, I'm so sorry, Chris, like, you deserved way better, you were too good of a guy, she shouldn't have did this to you. And I was kind of like, you stop saying that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand I'm a good dude, and I try to pride myself in being somebody that I would like, you know what I mean? Because that's the whole point. And I just feel like disappointed in her that she would do that to me, like, after me being the way I was, especially with her son, with everything that was going on with us. And it's not like we were having any problems. She just did it, like, out of the blue. As far as I was concerned, we were doing fine. Like, there was no issues. There was nothing. Like, life was good. So, I don't know.
I want to say, and the only thing I honestly can think of, it's the fact that it took my ex-girlfriend to kind of snap me into reality about it. Because, like I said, honestly, from that standpoint, like, I've sat there and I'm like, oh, maybe I should go back to my ex, because I was like, with me and her, it was exactly the same thing, where we've gotten fist fights, and it's no good, you know what I mean, to do that in front of your child and all that kind of stuff like that. And we've gotten this and whatever, and, like, I've tried to, like, I talked to her one time, and it kind of got, like, crazy and, like, really inappropriate and weird stuff like that. But, like, it took my ex to go, like, okay. And I was like, you know what, I don't want to be with you because I want to be with her, And I don't remember what exactly she said, but she pretty much just, like, kind of, like, brought everything back into reality. I'm just like, you know what, you have a fucking point, and stuff like that. And I honestly want to say that I'm like, I don't understand why she didn't kind of take your point on that, because it's like, one, you sat there and you brought up the fact that, hey, there's this guy, and he's not going to change, but that's what you're deciding to do and stuff like that. So, I mean, I understand it, but at the same time, I understand the fact that it's always that person. Like, it's as much as you want to do everything you can do, man, it's the fact that this person thinks this way. And like I said, honestly, you did say all the right things. Like, that's what the one thing I'm going to be, like, mad props about. But like I said, it's just the way that person takes that information,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, honestly, in the end, it is what it is. I mean, it's her loss.
It really is.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Like I said, I'm not like some super perfect dude, but I'll tell you what, I mean, like, I put my heart into, like, everything I do. You know what I mean? And that's all I can ever ask out of anybody else, is, like, honesty and loyalty. Like, that's all I want, is honesty and loyalty. And if you can't even give me that,
Chris,
then, like...
He's in there.
If, like, you can't even give me that, then I'm just... like, you're not worth my time.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to be part of my life,
Yeah.
So...
And, like, honestly, that's what like, for me right now, that's what I've been doing with my ex right now. I've been, I mean, because I told her, I'm just like, you know what, like, I don't have anything to hide, I don't have anything to do, I don't, I mean, this is me showing you, how I am. Like, this is really me. And yeah, it's
yeah.
it's boring. But I mean, it's, you know what, I'm still at least trying to be the way I want to be. So.
Well, exactly, and that's like that. Our topic being that, you know, I think that as people, we should want to be who we want to be, you know, happy with. Like, that's the way I feel. Like, be happy with yourself. Be somebody that you would want to hang out with. Because at the end of the day, you're the one person that's going to spend the most time with yourself. Oh, yeah. You know, and so, like, when it comes down to it, breakups are difficult. You know, relationships are difficult, especially when you're so connected to another person that you want to be different for that person, or you want to be everything that person wants you to be. And a lot of times, I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, but at the same time, somebody once told me that don't get lost in your love for somebody to the point where you don't know who you are. You know, because once you do that, it's over. Like, you know, and you're gonna have such a hard time, you know, being that person that you want to be, and you'll often lose track of who you want to be. So, like, if that's advice that I could give somebody, it would be that.
Yeah, and I honestly can say 100% that's kind of how I feel, where it's like I want to be this better person, which I am working on being that better person, but then at the same time, it's like, you know, like, I always doubt myself, where it's like, what am I as a person to say I'm getting better when I, you know what I mean, like, I don't know what better is, but for, you know what I mean, like, it's little things I find within myself that I'm like, okay, I'm fine with, you know, doing this, I'm fine with doing that, and I'll sit there and I'm like, you know what, it's not bad to sit there and feel good about yourself if, you know, you did something that no one's ever gonna see it, no one's ever gonna notice that about you, but I mean, if you're doing it and you feel good about doing that, then that's on, you know what I mean, like, I guess that's on you.
Yeah, and when it comes down to, like, all that, if you do find somebody, man, that is, like, willing to accept you through all of your flaws, all of your bullshit, all of your hard times, heartaches, and everything, you know what I mean, then you need to, like, keep them, you know what I mean? And if somebody is, like, willing to fight for you when you don't even have to ask them to, I mean, it's difficult, you know, to explain.
It really is a hard thing to do, because it's like I said, it's as much as you want to do it for them, you still need to, you know what I mean, you need to do it for yourself.
Absolutely.
So, but I mean, I understand though, where, like, the fact, I'm flustered with words, man. It's like they're all inside my head, and they all just kind of want to come out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough. I mean, that's how it goes, and you know, and then I'm having, you know, like, issues, I guess you could say, with a different ex. I mean, and honestly, at the moment, I'm done, like, on the whole relationship level at the moment. You know, don't get me wrong, I definitely want to find somebody to go see Star Wars with me, but...
Right, that's that, you know what I mean? Like, I know how you feel with that, too. Because I sat there, and it's like, I want to go do the Star Wars thing, I want to do all this stuff, but then at the same time, it's like, I don't want to do it by myself, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing it by yourself, but
I don't know. Yeah,
you know,
and, like, for me, it's like, I would love to go with friends, I'd love to do that, but it's just like realizing you want to do that special thing with somebody, regardless of how little it is, you want that person with you, so you can be like, hey, remember that time we watched, you know, we spent 4 hours in line to watch Star Wars, remember that time, you know, X amount of this and X amount of times that, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good, though.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited about you coming down to Texas.
Oh yeah, dude, I love it. Like, that's like I'm still torn between that, dude, because I really want to, like, I don't know, I want to go, and I really want to stay for some reason. I've never had that feeling. Like
Well,
like I've gone to California, stayed there for a little while, but also it's like, I'm ready to come back here. You know what I mean? I've gone to the States and done
yeah.
that, but for some reason this time around it's just like, oh, you know.
Well, maybe it's the thought of like fresh start. Like it's the thought of new, and
I think that might be it, dude. Because it's just like it's a whole like, I mean, like, yeah. I think the main thing intriguing about it for me is just the fact that it's like, if I go out there, it's like I have Matthew, I have you, I have Jake, you know what I mean? Like there's more I have out there than I guess what I have here. Because like when I really thought about it, I'm just like, if I go to the Star Wars movie with my friends, I maybe have I probably have like 3 friends in Arizona, if that, and that's hard. That's really weird to think about, because it's like I only have, I think, my friend Lorenzo and Wiggity. Obviously, you know him. And
yeah.
then, like, he's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's the only person I consider, like, my friend, where I'm like, hey, I'm going to come talk to you, or hey, I'm going to do this. But it's like, if I think about anybody else, it's like, it's all my online friends. It's you, it's Wolfman, it's Matthew, it's everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I understand.
I think about that, and then obviously, like, I still sit there and think about, like, yeah, I want to stay for my ex. I want to stay for this and this X amount of you know what I mean? Like I said, I love my daughter. I do, and I love to see her. But then it's like, to go to that point where it's like, if this person, her mother, doesn't let me see my daughter, it's like, why? You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong? Because it's like, before, like, the way my baby's mom works is the fact that she finds ways to blame whatever for me not to see my child. Like, before, it's like, oh, you're not gonna see your child because of your girlfriend, because she's taking away time for you to be with your child. I'm like, no, like, this person wants to be, like Caitlin's trying to include my child into my life. Like, she wants to sit there and go, hey, let's take your daughter to the zoo. Oh, hey, let's take your daughter to the movie. Hey, let's do this, with your daughter. And my baby's mom's like, no, 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 no. Like, blah, 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 blah. She's a bad person. I'm like, she's really not. And since we've broken up, it's like, hey, I'm off X amount of days. This is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm off so many days now. Can I see my daughter? And it's never anything. You know what I mean? Like, I can always, it's always try me going halfway. It's like, hey, here are my days off. I do not have anything planned. I have nothing else special. You do what you want with that information. And then it goes, oh, well, why didn't you ask her for her this day? Why didn't you ask for her that day? I'm just like, why do I need to ask for her if I'm telling you these are my days off and there's nothing scheduled? I have nothing to do those days. Like, those days are open. Wouldn't you, like, if I sat there, wouldn't you know what I mean? Wouldn't you take advantage?
Because I feel like if the moment you ask her, then she's just going to turn around and find a reason to tell you no anyways.
Yeah, so that's what,
if that's how she's going to do it.
So for me, it was always like, here's my days off. Do what you want with that information. I don't care what you do with it. Just do what you want with it. So, but anyways, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm just, like, I'm excited, dude. Like, I'm terrified of, though, airplanes, 100%.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Hell yeah, I'm definitely excited. And, I was definitely thinking that if it was a choice that you wanted to make, like, to actually move here after you visit, I would definitely be down to roommate. Bro, if that was legit. Something that you would want to do.
I was thinking about that too, 'cause I'm just like, what is it? I was thinking about that here, and then I'm just like, I don't want to live with somebody that I don't know who the hell they are. I don't know this person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go on Craigslist, and I want to go on, like, some weird ass website to move in with somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's my thing, is like, I don't trust people. So.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because I have a lot of stuff that's worth a lot of money, and that's all it takes is
that one. Like I said, it's that one bad experience, dude. And it's weird too, because I never really understood that statement to work in retail. That it's the experience that you remember. It's not the way, you know what I mean. It's not the whatever is always the experience. It's like if you go to Walmart and you're getting shitty service, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to go back to that Walmart. You'd probably go to like one like 2 miles away. You might go to whatever one.
That's my life story exactly.
And I didn't know how true that was until working retail, because it's like I've had, like you said, you get those people that are just like, you know, hey, you're working today. I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I work? Oh, you know, because I haven't seen you, you know, this amount of X amount of hours or X amount of days, and I didn't think you worked here. And it's like, oh, I'm glad you work here, now I can come back. I'm like, that's a weird thing to say, but thank you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that happens to me all the time. Like, people still stop me and they're like, didn't you work at the other Walmart? And I'm like, yeah, I did. You know what I mean? So it happens all the time.
Yeah. And I want to say, like I said, that's how I feel about the whole moving in with a roommate, where it's like, if I'm gonna move in with somebody, I want to make sure at least A, they're my friend, B, you know, we kind of lay ground rules, because it's like, one, it's at the end of the day, it's like, if I'm gonna come home to my friend, I want my friend to be considered family in my mind, you know?
Yeah. So. Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, that's a big thing, is like, I mean, I can definitely clean up after myself, though I will admit I'm a bit lazy. Me too, dude. I know. So but absolutely, like, and I was just thinking about that. I was like, I wouldn't mind, and it would depend on the area. Like, I wouldn't want to leave too far out of Killeen. So, I mean, yeah. I wouldn't mind trying Austin, but I hear it's got a high cost of living, and I'm definitely not Matt making fucking
3Gs.
You know, 3Gs a month. So,
I don't know what he said, because I asked him like, hey, how much are apartments? And he goes, oh, you know, 1 or 2 bedrooms, like $650. I don't know if he was talking about the one he lives or what he was talking about, but I'm just like,
well, that actually, I mean, that sounds about how it would be here.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. It doesn't sound too bad. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like Austin, like it's I don't know. Like I would probably be like within city limits. You know what I mean? At least.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, dude. You're just selling me right now. Like if people ever wanted to move anywhere, just talk to Chris for like an hour.
I mean, I'm from Sacramento, California, and I don't want to move there.
Oh, dude, no. Like my what is it? I lived in what is it? It's like somewhere like an hour and a half away from Los Angeles. I don't even remember what it was, but I was out there for like a month or 2, and it was no bueno, dude. I hated it. Like, I think that's what it was. It's like anywhere I went, I didn't feel like the way I felt because of A, either people, or B, the way the environment was, to me at least. And
well, and
oh, go ahead.
Like California, like where I'm from, it wasn't a good place. Like, it just wasn't. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm gonna move back to California, I'm gonna go northern. I have a lot of family in like Modesto, Monterey, like beautiful places to live. So
the one thing I want to say, the one thing I do love about California is just you can go to the beach. Like, you get lost there, dude. Like, I've done that so many times where I'm just like, I sit there and I walk for hours. I've sat there and I just, just stare at the ocean.
Yeah, absolutely. My great-grandparents, they had a house down in Mexico. And so I've actually been in Baja, California, technically Mexico.
Yeah.
But, I've actually, like, been on, like, the Pacific coast. And, dude, like way down there, it is gorgeous. It's like stunningly gorgeous. So, but
I don't know. I know how you feel. Like it's just, I know. Like I said, I would love California. Maybe future-wise, I'd probably move there. But as of now, like, I'd rather go somewhere where that's Arizona, cause at least Arizona in a sense. Cause it's just like I sat there. Cause Wolfman offered to pay half my ticket to go down there and get situated and stuff over there, but I'm just like, I don't want to live somewhere where it's -5 degrees, like where if I cough, my cough turns into like a cloud.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was just like,
I mean, I love the cold. Like, I really do.
I love the cold, but I don't love the freezing snow and you know what I mean, like stuff like that.
That I can definitely understand. I just killed a hive, bitch. Oh, I was the final kill.
Yeah.
But absolutely, like that'd be something that'd be really cool. I don't know, just a thought. I mean, I'm not saying like, you know, like you have to or anything. I'm just saying that after you visit,
you know what I mean, to keep that in mind.
You know, later on down the line, I'd definitely be willing to do something like that.
I know, it was funny. I think what is it? I can't even think. But yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm really excited for the summer. Like, it sucks. It's gonna be like, even next year, it's still gonna be like 6 months away. But it's just, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I like it because one, I never been on an airplane. Two, I've never stayed with people I wanted to stay with. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, if I stayed at somebody's house, it'd be like, I'm there awkwardly because the one person invited me, but I don't know anybody here. It's like, I go over there, it's like, oh, I know Yesenia, I know Matthew, I know you, I know your brother, I know Jake. You know what I mean? I know people out there. So for me, it's like, you know, I never had this excited feeling to do that, but that's crazy. No, it's weird. I told my ex, what is it? Yesterday we hung out, and I told her a really weird sex story, and it wasn't like happened to me. It was just a story. It's because it's just such. I'm gonna tell you it, but it's just such a weird story. Like I don't understand people sometimes. Alright, so alright, I was in high school, and obviously you're in high school. You're in high school, dude. You're gonna do all kinds of crazy stuff. I didn't do that. I wasn't that cool, or I was too shy for that. But I know people that were into that, and they did that kind of stuff. But no, what is it? So I knew this chick, and it's weird because when I think back at it, I'm just like, everything in my life that was ever a stereotype, I lived through that. I've experienced every little stereotype you could imagine, like especially in like middle school or in high school. So there's this girl, and she was a band person, and
oh, okay, there's your thing right there.
She was a band person.
Them band, because I was in marching band. Those chicks are a bit
they're crazy, bro. I didn't think that was real. I really didn't. And then so she was in band. I think she was in band, and then that ROTC, whatever that is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was just with this like scumbag dude. Anyways, so I start doing stuff, and I just heard the weirdest stories from them. But this is the one that I thought it was, oh my god, it grossed me out, and it still like grosses me out to this day. So they're messing around, they're doing stuff, and then they start using toys like vibrators, stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, that's normal, right? And then she gets a bright idea of like, oh, let's use my cell phone as a vibrator. And I'm like,
oh,
and this is back when like the Nokias were like those little brick phones with like snake on them. So it's not gonna be a fucking little phone. This is like an actual like whatever old school cell phone. So they get the bright idea. I'm like, oh, here, let me call you. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm like, okay, whatever. This story is kind of freaking me out, but okay, I'm gonna keep listening. And then she goes, oh, we should put it inside me.
Oh my god.
And then
I hope she had insurance.
Wait till
I feel like okay, go ahead.
Like, just wait till the end of the story. It gets better. She puts it inside her. He starts calling her. She gets off, whatever she does. That's whatever. And she shoved it all the way inside her, where she can't put her hands inside herself to pull it out.
Oh my god.
And he tries to do it, and she can't do it, and they both kind of freak out. And then, so from there, what is it? Goddamn. It's so grossing me out. So, that happens. And then, so she's like, what do we do? And he's like, oh, we can't go to the hospital, we're underage, da-da-da-da-da. We can't do that. So, after that, she goes, well, here, let me try something. And then, she starts to try to push the phone out like a baby inside her.
Oh my, oh god.
And it works.
Okay. So she gave birth to a brick cell phone.
A Nokia.
Oh my god.
And then, lo and behold, that phone still works.
Well, it's a fucking Nokia. Of course it's gonna work.
That phone still works. And she still has to use it for the rest of that year.
Oh my god, dude. I would never ask to borrow her fucking cell phone.
No, dude, once I found out, dude, like, my sanity kind of dropped a little bit. I'm like, I used that phone once. And I'm like, I don't know when this story happened.
Oh my god. Dude, that's... I don't even know what to say.
I was like, dude, exactly. Like, there's nothing you can say. Like, I don't... Like, that, like I said, as you can tell, that's why that story sticks out of my mind so much.
Like, if you think about it, like, have you ever seen that show, Sex Sent Me to the ER? I felt like that's where that was going.
That's what I thought it was, dude.
Man.
I swear to God, I thought she was gonna whatever, but I'm just like, that sucks. And then I guess, or I don't remember. I guess it's an urban legend. I guess she still has that cell phone. I don't know. I don't talk to her anymore, but I guess, you know, supposedly she still has that cell phone.
I wouldn't even know what to say, man. Why would you need to use a cell phone if you've got a vibrator? Like, that makes no sense to me.
That's what I was like. I'm like, okay, is there a plot hole? Am I missing something? And I'm like, no. They said that she had one, but they decided to use that instead. And I'm just like, I'm like, one, that has to be weird. The fact that your penis is shaped like a Nokia phone. Two, I don't know, dude. Like, that was just like,
it's too spoopy for me, man.
It just,
way too spoopy.
It just blew my mind, dude. I'm like, I was reading about that story. I'm like, damn. But I want to say the weirdest sex story I've ever had personally, and it wasn't even sex. It was just someone. It was the first time that it happened. Was revenge porn on me. And it was,
oh wait, what?
Yeah, like, what is it? I had an ex, and I don't know. We got in an argument, whatever, and we didn't even date that long, and this is back in MySpace days. So,
all right.
So we're dating, whatever. We argue, and I sent her dirty pictures, but I'm like, I was never the one to like do the full on like frontal, you know, like Peter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I was never able to do that, so I took one, but I was in my underwear, and like you could see, like, you know, A, I was turned on, and B, whatever. So I sent that to her, but I never had sex with her, stuff like that. I sent that to her, and she decides we break up. She decides to make that her default picture.
Wait, default on MySpace?
Yeah. I was just like,
what the fuck?
Oh yeah, I was just like, think about that for
I don't
a
know whether. What?
And I guess I'm like, and I remember too. I'm just like, am I supposed to be offended by this? Like, what's going on?
Like, I mean, I'm pretty proud of that picture. You could see that I got a nice dick. Like,
bro,
I'm not
like, right? That's what I'm saying. I was just like, oh my god, this is so good. I love killing people with this thing, dude.
The bow, I love it too. It's okay.
And he charged it up too. Watch, look how red I am. You didn't kill me.
That dude's trash. Oh my god, good shot.
So yeah, and like for me, I'm just like, I don't know.
Javi was on the other team, by the way.
Damn. But what is it? It was crazy because like, I mean, like that happened to me, and I'm just like, I understand for girls, it's a lot harder, but for me, I'm just like, that's me. Like, what's weird about that?
I don't know, man.
So, all right. Any stories you got, Chris, that you can think of?
Sexual stories?
Either or.
I mean,
here, I'll tell you a quick one. It's such a weird story, right? So first time I got drunk. Well, it wasn't the first time ever. It was like the first time I got drunk with a girl. We tried to have sex. I'm not I'm not up. You know what I mean? Like it's not going up, and she's.
Well, that's what happens when you drink.
Yeah. So we're trying as hard as we can. We're at a friend's house. We can't use a room, so then she decides to go to the side of the house, and we try to do stuff there.
Right.
And it's not working. So then her friends are like, "What are you?"
Join my game.
Yeah. Her friends are like, "What are you trying to do?" And she's like I was pantsless, and she was pantsless. She gets off of me. She goes like leans her head over. And she's like, "Oh, we're trying to do this." And they're like, "Oh." They're like, "Why don't you guys go inside?" And she goes, "Oh, that we couldn't go inside." And I remember it too, because it's like my knees were all bruised up from the cement. My like everything was all scratched up. Dude, I'm just like, how do people have sex and enjoy this when they're drunk? I don't understand this. Alright.
Well, I mean, I don't really have, like, the second time I ever had sex lasted like 2 hours.
Oh, dude, I remember those days.
And, I mean, that was an experience. So,
Didn't work out.
Besides that, I'm still practically a virgin. I'd like to consider myself a virgin, because my ex definitely didn't deserve my virginity.
What is it?
So, can Javi not join us?
Let me send him an invite. But it was what is it? I still remember the first. What is it? There's a one crazy story my friend told me. He's gonna remain anonymous, so.
That's fine.
So what is it? I know, because we haven't seen each other in a while, right? So we just started talking and having fun and stuff like that, and then we go back. We're just hanging out, and then he starts talking about like weird stories, and then I'm like, okay, and he goes, oh, I remember this one time with my current girlfriend, we were having sex, and she likes to be choked, and I'm like, oh, okay, that doesn't sound safe, but you know, keep going. And
some women do. You can keep going. It's okay.
Damn it, you fucking derailed me. But no. So he starts talking about like doing crazy stuff with her, and I guess one night he starts choking her, and you know she's getting into it. She's getting into it, and then she stops moving, and she's like out, and then I guess he choked her out, but he was like freaked out because he thought he like killed her. And like he didn't know what to do, and he was like resuscitating her and all this other stuff, and then like I guess a couple minutes later she came back, and I'm just like, dude, that's so scary.
Bro, like I would shit my pants and immediately call an ambulance. like immediately.
I thought like you know what I mean, like I've done crazy kinky stuff like that, but back then I'm just like, what the fuck?
One more kill and I get gold for this damn gun.
I was like, you should have made a class in search and destroy. Nah, that'd be too concentrated. But poor Chris. So I want to say, okay, so you've had sex, but it's never been like anything crazy, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
I mean, because I was still very new to it.
Yeah.
So I still am very new to it. So it wasn't like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So. It is the way it is.
I don't know. Like for me, I think there's not, like I said, one with my ex. I think it was like for me, like I guess I want to say like that was probably the best like sex I've ever had, to be honest. Because I've had, you know, what I mean, I've had sex with other people, but with her, it was just, I don't know, it was just really.
Well, I don't know. I guess when you're in love, I guess it might have a different effect.
Right? I want to say it might, but I mean. It's just people are strange sometimes. I had to think about like I'm like what's the craziest thing I ever did, and I couldn't even recall like anything freaky or crazy I pretty much did with my my ex, and it's just weird to think about that. I'm just like, man, I don't know, that's weird.
I mean,
I had to fart, dude, and it's gonna be so loud.
I know. This most recent ex, she was. I mean, she couldn't keep her hands out of my pants. That's for sure.
I couldn't either.
So, like, it was ridiculous. Like, you know, some mornings I'd go over there, and I'd go, sleep, or like I'd go over there and I'd sleep or whatever, and in the morning time, because that way we'd spend time together, because either I would sleep or we would just hang out and play video games, or cook breakfast together, or do random shit.
Yeah.
And like I can't tell you, just like those morning boners, and
bro,
she's got to have her hands in my pants.
Boners right there.
Yeah, and so when I say that, like she just always wanted it, like, so I can't get mad at her for it. But I don't know. We never did anything that was like crazy.
Yeah, and like I said, it's always a person. You know what I mean? It's never like, here, I'm gonna tie you up and this. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like either some people that can 0 to 100 and do it like that. There's other people where it takes little baby steps. You know what I mean? And it's just discovering who you are about it.
Yeah. Well, I won't be discovering any more with her ever, so it's cool.
Look at Chris.
And I'm pretty sure her man's gonna choke her out too while they're not having sex. So,
right.
Hey, power to fucking him, right?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what to say, but I'll tell you the one thing I'm doing right now, which it's cool. The fact that I've been able to do this, it's when I'm really excited for anything, like movie wise or like preview wise, I've kind of stopped watching trailers for those things.
Oh, for video games, I do that constantly, dude. I
should start doing it for video games, to be honest. Because what I'm doing it right now is I've done it with movies, or like I'll see whatever for it, but I don't want to watch a trailer. I don't want to watch whatever. Like, I want to go in with a clear head. You know what I mean? I want to go in with no expectations, and
Well, see, and that's like that's like my thing is, like, if there's a video game that I really, really want, okay, and it's like I'll do just enough research to get by on knowing about the game, to know whether it is going to be good enough for me to put my money into it or not.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm very like, like, I'm not gonna watch it, and I'm not gonna get into it like that, because I want, to experience it. I won't watch any type of like YouTube gameplay, you know what I mean? Because I want to experience that gameplay, and so, that's the way I see those things. Like, that's what I want to do, you know what I mean? So. I'm trying to think of a game that I did that with, because there's been quite a few.
Yes.
Like Destiny, when Destiny first came out, like, I know how much they put into it, and I watched like enough gameplay from like the beta and stuff to get into it, and then I was like, dude, this game is gonna be fucking amazing. But then I was kind of like disappointed. After a while, because it kind of wore out.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, I think I slightly did that with Destiny, because one, I was interested, but I wasn't like going out of my way to try to look at things or anything like that. And I want to say too was the fact that, I don't know. I like the game. I love the way the graphics look. I love the way everything like that is. But I don't know. Just story wise, I honestly didn't even pay attention to it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Destiny was a good game, and I did like Destiny, you know what I mean? We played it, obviously. We played the shit out of it, But my thing was that, like, I don't know, like, after a while, it just lost its flavor. It was like a piece of gum, you know what I mean? It just lost its flavor. And for a game that had a $500 million budget, like, $500 million, dude, like, that's insane. They could have done so much more with it. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it was a bit of a letdown for what it was. Right. And then when they came out,
I think for me it was like the hype around it, when it's like, oh, it's gonna be the next Halo killer, it's gonna be the next Call of Duty killer, and all this stuff, and it's
yeah, and that was my biggest thing. Like, don't get me wrong, like I love Halo and I'll always be a Halo fanboy, but like what upset me about Halo 5, okay, it wasn't like the gameplay or anything like that. What really upset me was how they campaigned it, because they put in this whole thing to where it was like, oh my god, it's Chief versus Locke, you know, discover the truth,
Oh, yeah.
like shit's crazy. And then they fought for like a minute and a half, and then they were fucking each other in the ass like the rest of the game. And I was kind of like, this is like, come on, like you campaign this entire game off of this thing, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, you go through this game and that was nothing at all to do with it.
Oh yeah, I think
like
that's what it was. I think after hearing that from you guys, it's like I'm not one to sit there and care about whatever, but what I was sold was the fact that it was gonna be you as a squadron going against Master Chief, or you know, you as Master Chief going against
Locke. Yeah, like that was.
And then to hear what you guys said, I'm just like, that's stupid. It's nothing like that. Like, what the hell? So.
Yeah, it is. It's disappointing. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, flat out, I will say that, and a lot of people might disagree, but they took the multiplayer back to the roots in the arena. Not really with the Warzone. I mean, Warzone was fantastic regardless. But like when it came down to the arena, that was Halo at its finest. Mainly because of the fact that it was skill. You know, it was that Halo 2 flair.
Yeah.
Like it was just pure skill. There were no loadouts. Everybody started with the same thing. Everybody had to fight for control over weapons on the map. And it to that point, it honestly was better than Halo 4's multiplayer. Regardless of the fact that Halo 4 had such a massive multiplayer, but not as massive as Reach's, which honestly is still probably the best multiplayer.
Oh yeah,
out of the Halo,
like
out of the Halo franchise.
And honestly, like we like the way I met Matthew, which is like I said again, like it for me, games depending on what happens around them is how I always keep that in my mind. Like for me, it's like I love Ghost because you know, I went with my ex. She's the only ex I've ever dated that went with me to a game release, and then so that's always a special place in my heart for Ghost. And obviously there's other reasons why I love Ghost. And then Halo Reach it's how I met Matthew. Like if it wasn't for Matthew, like I would, you know, this wouldn't be a conversation or anything like that. So and then it's funny too because we bought Halo 4. We all got it. Not once did we go back to Halo 4. We always kept going back to Halo Reach. Because it was such a good game, dude. Like, you could, the game modes you can change, the things you could download. Like, every little thing about that game mode was just great. Like, I never once ever felt like I was ever outmatched. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I died because of this reason. I died because of that reason. Like,
well,
okay.
I mean, I liked the Halo 4 multiplayer mainly because it was upgraded from Reach's. So I did play a lot of Halo 4, don't get me wrong. Like I was dominant in I could go back and show you clips of my Halo 4 days, you know, and
like I said, like I'm not you know what I mean, I'm not going to rag on Halo 4. Like I liked it, but for some reason Reach was always just that game to go back to.
You want to hear something crazy? I beat the campaign of Halo 4 in on Legendary by myself in literally 5 hours.
You want to know a funny story with that?
What's that?
Matthew was okay. Matt, like you know Matthew, and I know Matthew, but for people that don't know, he's a really competitive guy. Like if you have something, if you have one achievement more than him, he's gonna go out of his way to get that achievement. And for me, I like it because it kind of keeps things fresh. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like
that's how me and Jake are with each other a lot.
So what is it? We beat Halo 4. I was beating him in achievements and all this stuff, and then I didn't have the monument to all your sins, little whatever.
My bad, Javi. Yeah.
And I guess he watched speedruns for like a week and a half, so he could speedrun and get that achievement and beat me. That was the funniest thing ever.
Really?
So. Like Matthew, like that's what I think my favorite thing about Halo 4 was the fact that Matthew did that.
went out of his way to beat you.
Yeah, he went out of his way to go get that specific achievement and all that other stuff. And I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, like my thing was about like Halo 4 was like, I loved the campaign, and I really was like, if this is where Halo is heading, then I'm okay with it. A lot of people weren't. You know what I mean? I was like, it's not Reach. Of course it's not Reach. But like, I'm still very impressed, you know, especially since 343 had taken over and it wasn't Bungie. And I was like, for their first Halo, it's good, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And but when 5 came out, I mean, I'm going to keep 5 regardless. But when 5 came out, I was disappointed, not only in like the way it was franchised, but like how much of the story wasn't there. I mean, if you're going to pit like one of the biggest legends, I mean, obviously Master Chief is one of the biggest legends on Xbox, mascot, if not the biggest. You know, and the thing is like, the story was epic for like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, the story was very short-lived. You're kind of like, man, I'm jumping into this. It's gonna be fucking amazing, and like, I'm just so ready for it. And then it was over, like with the blink, and the way it ended, and I just, man, it was disappointing. Now I'll go back and I'll play it. You know, obviously, eventually, I'm sure you'll pick it up, and we'll all get it, and we'll go back and play it for shits and giggles. But besides that, I mean, come on, like, I don't know, I expected more. If you're gonna take a game or take a franchise and you're gonna make the next game of the franchise, it's got to live up to its predecessors. Because if people are like, nah, I'm not gonna play 4, I'm gonna go play Halo Reach, I mean, obviously you did something wrong, because you're not wanting to keep people playing Halo 4.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that to me makes a bigger difference. So the way I judge games off of their predecessors, you know, because like if obviously if you're gonna come out with like,
you know, the game of
my biggest problem, I think, with games like Call of Duty are that they rush them out because they know people are gonna buy them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I think, and the one thing with it is the fact that they have multiple companies making multiple versions of the game. It's like, here's your name brand product, but it's like, oh, here's Oreo, but here's Oreo mint. Here's Oreo that tastes like birthday. Here's Oreo that tastes like this. It's like, oh, it's Oreo. People buy it, but
and so
it's half-assed.
My thing is like, Advanced Warfare came out, and I still went back to Black Ops 2. You know what I mean? Because those games, like, couldn't keep me, because it was kind of like, yeah, we tried something new, but there were certain things about them that, like, okay, like, I'll use Black Ops 3 for example. I mean, we're sitting here playing Black Ops 3, which, I mean, obviously I love, otherwise I wouldn't put so much time into it. Black Ops 3 feels like it ripped off from a lot of games.
Oh yeah.
Especially since we just stopped playing Destiny to play this, you know, like before this came out. A lot of the specialists have a lot of similar moves to Destiny. Oh, yeah. You know, the wall running is the parkour and everything feels like it's watered down Titanfall.
Oh yeah.
Which, let's be honest, Titanfall, that's all Titanfall really had going for it. So, because Titanfall was like a $60 beta, which was really dumb.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing, is like, when Modern Warfare 3 came out, of course I played Modern Warfare 3. You know what I mean? But I would still go back and play Modern Warfare 2, probably more. And then Black Ops came out, the first one, and it was like, it was a good game. But then I was kind of like, I still want to play Modern Warfare 2, and then that was around the time the servers got so bad because people were constantly hacking that, you know, it was like, it was stupid. And then, so I was like, screw it, I'll just stay with Modern Warfare 3. And then, so, after that, or no, it was Black Ops, and then it was Modern Warfare 3, I'm sorry. And then, or was it World at War?
It was Modern Warfare 3, then Black Ops. Oh no.
Then Black Ops? Shit, whatever. The point is like, I loved World at War, personally. But like, Then you have, you know, because it introduced zombies, and then Black Ops was awesome only because of its zombies. Like, I truly love zombies more than anything else. The campaign was really good, don't get me wrong, but I loved Black Ops for its zombies. And then they dropped the next one, which I'm pretty sure was Modern Warfare 3, actually. And I found myself still wanting to go back to Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops, but I eventually gave in, just played the shit out of Modern Warfare 3. And then when Black Ops 2 came out, that's it. That was all I fucking played. It was like Black Ops 2. You know, I was like, you know, this game is good enough to get the seasons, you know, the season pass. Like, I'm actually going to get into this game. And so when Ghost came out, you know, they made that game look so cool. They were like, Infinity Ward is bringing it back. You know, this is going to be a kick-ass game. And it was just rehashed trash.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like, they were like, we added in.
It was, what is it? It was, people did it cut by cut, scene by scene, where, it was just basically, like, a lot of the story is just reskinned.
Yeah, and like, I felt like they didn't put no time into the game, you know what I mean, like, or any of that. And I was just kind of like, they were like, oh, we added this new sliding mechanic, and I was like, you only slide 2 feet. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, this game, for what it's worth, was trash. I took it into GameStop, right? Somebody had bought it for me on my Xbox One back when I, like, just started playing more video games on my Xbox One. And I never even opened it because I had played it on 360, because I had a friend and she was all about Ghost and Call of Duty and like the next one. And I was kind of like I got you, I understand all that, but I mean, this is
not my bag.
Disappointing. You know, like, it disappointed me. And so when Advanced Warfare came out, I had such low standards that when I first started playing Advanced Warfare, I was like, you know, this game's kind of cool. It's very innovative. Like, they did a lot of new shit with it. Doesn't feel rehashed. And then, but the more and more I played Advanced Warfare, the more and more I was like, God, this game is broken as shit.
I hated
the guns are beyond inconsistent. I have no idea how people can just fucking jet around and never lose their jetpack abilities and shit. And I was just like, you know what? Honestly, the only good thing about this game was the story, because even the zombies in that game were trash.
Yeah, dude, I was so disappointed when it came to everything about Advanced Warfare. And the only reason I liked the story was just because it was fucking Kevin Spacey, dude. Like, that's my actor. Like, that's my dude. And that was basically the only thing. I was just like, I guess this is going to keep my attention. And that was pretty much it. It kept my attention campaign-wise. Anything else, like, everything was so inconsistent about it. Like one gun that was the gun that all the MLG people use was the bow. And
oh god,
and it's like, oh, you have to hold the trigger for it to, you know, for better accuracy. I'm just like, I've never seen a gun like that ever in my lifetime. And I'm like, to put that on a gun, it's the dumbest thing you could possibly imagine.
Well, and that was like my thing. It's like, I think I still have it. I'm gonna go trade it in and get Just Cause 3. Like, fuck that. But like, the thing is like, I don't know. I was just disappointed in it. And then, so when this one came out, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to pick it up day one, because as much as I like the Black Ops series, you know, then I started watching gameplay, and I was like, you know what? It actually looks surprisingly good. Like, it's going to keep my attention.
Yeah.
God, I'm doing so shitty. And then the beta came out. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give this beta a shot. And I figured I was only going to play like 2 or 3 matches, and then I'd probably never touch it again. Yeah. And then, no, not at all, man. Like,
I wanted Master Prestige for that.
Yeah, like, the moment the beta ended, I was sad. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to play some Call of Duty right now. Like, I'm fucking impressed. Like, you know what I mean? It was addicting. And that's what got me. And so here I am, I'm playing Call of Duty. But it's the same thing with, like, the Assassin's Creeds. Like, you know, when Assassin's Creed 3 dropped, they were already like, oh, we're making Assassin's Creed 4. Which, Assassin's Creed 4, without a doubt, was the best Assassin's Creed of the series. And granted, I haven't played Syndicate yet. So...
yeah, like, I played... the only Assassin's Creed I honestly played was the 3rd one. And I don't know, it's just kind of... was in my bag, I guess. I mean, because it seemed like a cool thing, but I don't know, for some reason, number 3 had like a weird storyline.
Well, number 3 wasn't necessarily bad. It was just extremely boring. Like, it was really boring. It was. It was just boring, and that kind of upsets me a bit. For it, but the thing is like, Brotherhood was decent. Revelations felt like I don't even know what to say about Revelations. I didn't understand like the whole. I mean, it was Ezio, so I love Ezio, but I was kind of like, this game is whatever. And then you have 4. When 4 dropped, I was like super like skeptical, and then I was like, whoa, you get to play as a pirate, I'm gonna check this one out. And what I really loved about it is the fact that he wasn't an assassin all the way up till right before the end of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
he was his own character.
Yeah, he did everything for himself. You know what I mean? Like, that was him. It was him and his crew. He didn't care about anybody else. He didn't, like, he gave no shits until the end, and it was like, he was a much likable character. Like, Edward Kenway was literally probably the best assassin. And then you have when Unity dropped, Unity was cool only for the co-op factor. That was the only reason. That, and like the fact that they completely revamped the parkour was really good too. So like, there's those things that made Unity good, but in the end, Unity was broken. It had so many bugs and glitches that would fuck up my game, or there was like, I don't know, it got boring, you know? So, it is what it is.
I want to say, like, I don't know, like, I like the Assassin's Creed franchise. Like, for me, I want to say my main franchises is Dead Island, like, hands down. And
well, yeah, you've got to get what's it called, Dying Light. I really definitely play that with you.
It was funny. What is it? They're just like, oh, if you want to experience Dead Island 2, play Dying Light, because that's the way Deep Silver envisioned their new game and stuff like that. And then it's like, what is it? After that, it was yeah, and then they compared it to what other game, but like I said, for me, I'm always gonna be excited for Dead Island series itself. But that kind of brings me an interesting topic for a moment. I want the one game I want them to like do it like HD, 3D remake, whatever you want to call it. It's Earthbound. It's for Super Nintendo, and then Chrono Trigger for Super Nintendo. Literally the 2 games I want them to like remake so bad. But I don't know. I want.
You know, if you have a Wii U, you can buy them on the Wii U.
Well, do I got a Wii U, sir?
I do.
Shut up. You have everything. You get like a 47-inch TV. You got everything, Chris.
Hey, yeah, but that's the reason I'm always broke, is because I have an unhealthy addiction to fucking games.
But I want to say, like, video game wise, next year I'm only really excited for Dead Island. I can't think of any other major releases next year. Can you?
Without a doubt, The Division. Oh, I got the Razorback. I so want to try that. Without a doubt, The Division, hands down. I definitely want to try The Division. Tom Clancy games are always fucking awesome for me, so
I don't know. I think I've grown accustomed too much to what do you call it? Call of Duty, to where if I play anything else that's like military wise, I feel like it's not Call of Duty, and obviously, of course, it's not. So, like, I try to play, what was it? The I don't know what it was. It's like Ghosts in their title for a Tom Clancy game.
Oh, yeah, Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
Then there was like Future Soldier. Like, that one, honestly, like, if you want my opinion, that one was ahead of its time. Like, they released that way too early. They should have waited and did more with it, because they later released Phantoms, Ghost Recon Phantoms for the PC, which was multiplayer only, and it was hella good. Well, from what I've seen, like, because I like the multiplayer.
Yeah.
But you know, I never had PC good enough to run it, so. But it was a lot better. Had a lot more innovative stuff. It was like, I don't know, it was cool. But like honestly, I loved Future Soldier. It just needed more time. Like that gunsmith thing. The fact that you could rip apart your gun and like put it back together and rebuild everything like detail wise.
That's so cool.
Was fantastic. Like, I mean, and the fact that those things actually affected the way your gun worked. You know, it wasn't just like a thing that you could do and then your gun's gonna fire the same regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just the like little random details that you can point out. You know.
Yeah, and so I was like, absolutely, like, this game was awesome. I played the shit out of it. But I will agree, it was ahead of its time. Like, they should have waited and they should have did more with it. One thing that I absolutely did hate was how they advertised co-op split screen, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, that's the one thing I hate about it. I think I had
so
I had that first heartbreak was it was Dead Island and I got it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't have internet at the time. I'm like, oh, I can split screen, I can do this. And then it's like, oh, you can system link. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
And
like,
they're just like,
oh my God, I'm being wrecked.
Like, oh, we advertised that wrong. I'm just like, how? I'm like, you have people, they're getting paid an X amount of money. How do you fuck that up that bad?
Yeah, absolutely. And like that was my thing about Halo. Was they were like, oh, well, we don't want split screen because we feel that it takes away from the immersion into the game itself. Which, in a way, yeah, it does. But, come on. Some of our greatest memories are sitting next to family and friends.
Oh, yeah. And I think the one thing for me, I know how you feel, is that excitement. It's the fact that you like this game and you're showing your family. And, you know, maybe like 7 out of 10 times that family member will tell their either their parents or whoever, hey, look, you know, my cousin or my uncle or this they have this cool thing and they let me play it, can I get one too? And it's like, for me, that was always because of split screening. That's all it was. It was like I could, you know, either play with another brother and sister, we can do this, or I can show my family this cool game that I like. I mean, they may not like it, but you know. So
yeah, and I get that. Like, oh God, I see what I did wrong here. Put this on the wrong class with no perks or attachments. Yeah, I completely understand because though, like, or like playing like Dragon Ball Z, like me and my brothers would go at it like crazy. Like we'd get pissed off at each other and then just be like, you know what? Fight me, like on, you know, Mortal Kombat or on Dragon Ball Z or like these games that, like, because the old school Dragon Ball Zs were all split screen. You know, you could just fight each other and you could just go at it and go at it and go at it. And for like Xenoverse, they were like, oh, we're bringing split screen back. But it wasn't like any of the missions or anything were split screen. It was just fighting each other in like really crappy, like in a really crappy thing. So it's kind of like, well, that kind of ruins it for me. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. When it comes down to video games, I'm not ever really picky about the graphics. Because, I mean, I grew up on fucking 8-bit games.
Right.
And I'm fucking perfectly happy playing 8-bit games. And I will always be perfectly happy playing 8-bit games.
You know? I want to say that's kind of like, that's the one thing I hate. Where I'm like, you know, that's taking control. You know what I mean? Where it's like people are like, oh, they need to have fucking, I want to see the fucking dog's hair. And I want to see this guy's brow sweat, stupid stuff. And I'm just like.
And for me, that's like I understand, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because, like, okay, a perfect example would be Rise Son of Rome.
Yeah.
Okay, that game I thought was awesome. Don't get me wrong, like, I was like, this game is fucking gorgeous. Yeah, it's repetitive. Yeah, the gameplay is like, you know, whatever. But I was like, this game, just for some reason, really stuck out to me. What I didn't like about it was the fact that they invested so much into the way it looks that they took away from the rest of the game. It was kind of like, Because after I beat it a few times, because I mean, you could literally run through that campaign in like 3 hours if you just sat down and done it, like just did it. But like I finally sat down. I was kind of like, this game is like boring. I've already seen all this. I've already done all this. Playing online, you're either playing with somebody who's too far below of a level, and who isn't worth anything, or you're playing with somebody who feels that way about you because they're just so fucking high of a level.
Yeah.
Because they're willing to spend actual money on the game, and I'm just kind of like I'm not. I don't know. I wasn't. After a while, I was like, it's an awesome game, but it's not one that I really need. So I end up selling it.
And honestly, what I thought the way Rise was gonna be, I felt like it was gonna be like, it's gonna be like God of War. It's gonna be like Xbox answers to God of War.
Yeah.
It's gonna be whatever, and all this stuff, and that's kind of what I expected, and. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just, and then once I kind of saw everything for it, I was like, that was a slight letdown, you know what I mean? Because I was thinking of it like, it's gonna be like 300 with God of War, and more mortal, but you're a badass mortal,
Yeah.
And then it's like, nope. And I'm like, you're just a fucking little soldier going against other soldiers.
And that was I was like, man, I like this game, but SOS booty, man, I love it. I don't know. It could have been better. I mean, apparently they're already working on the second one.
Yeah. So
we'll see. In time.
Video games, man. I love them and hate them.
Me and you both, bro.
You know what? I think the one thing I remember specifically growing up was it was always a 3-way battle for FPS. It was always A Call of Duty, B Medal of Honor, or C Battlefield. And it's weird to see the only thing you kind of really see anymore is Battlefield. Like, I wonder whatever happened to Medal of Honor.
It got really shitty.
So, man. But yeah, I guess. I don't know. We'll just see. I mean, we can't always. Yep. I don't know. I just love video games. I know that story.
Yeah.
Alright.
Me too.
I gotta call it at night though. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, like I said, we're recording another one. Thank you guys for listening. Like I said, it's funny because what is it? When I was walking home from my work, it's like, I know it takes if I walk, it's like a 2-hour walk. But I sat there and I just listened to the other podcasts, just listening. And I'm like, I kind of like this, and I kind of like having these hour-long kind of things.
Yeah.
But alright, man. We'll see you guys next podcast, and
absolutely.
Thank you guys for listening.
Always.
Alright.